Hi everyone, how are you doing? I thought I would go through the week 3 assignment, kind of like I did in week 2, because just generally there are some nuances I want to go over with you. I won't go through every single question and every single answer, so you'll get, have the full opportunity to review this, yet at the same time have an opportunity to do some of it on your own. To start out with, we're going to start with section 1. It's on price elasticity. And I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to find a change in price elasticity of supply. So generally speaking, a change in price elasticity for both supply and demand is essentially the same thing. You can do it in two ways. First, you can find it by percentage change in quantity, either supplied or demanded. In this case, it's supplied, divided by a percentage change in price. And so with this, we are going from here to here, basically from 144 to 154. And so we have a price and quantity supplied. So we're looking at these 1620 and 144, 154 numbers. So to do it this way, percentage change in quantity supplied, if you ever need to find percentage change, you are going to look at the difference, which is, either an increase or a decrease, and you're going to divide that by the original number. And so that is pretty much the easiest way to think about it. If you want to think about it in like a different way, how I was taught is to remember it as no, which means the new number minus the old number divided by the old number. And so the same is true in this instance. So we are going to look at the difference. So the difference is basically, first we're going to look at quantity supplied. And so our difference is 4 because 20 minus 16 is 4. And we're going to divide that by our original number. And so we are going from 16 to $20. And so we will take it divided by the 16. And so we will take, the 4 divided by the 16 here. And then we will get 0.25 as our answer. And that is for that top part there. And so now we can do the percentage change in price in the same way. So this is, imagine this is our division number. So this is the top part, percentage change in quantity supplied and percentage change in prices here. And so that would be the difference is 10 divided by our original of 144. You're going to get something similar to this. And so to actually calculate the elasticity, we are going to take 0.25 divided by 0.069, and our elasticity is 3.62. Anything greater than 1 is elastic. You would really expect that with a gaming device, because if you don't have money, you're going to buy food, and you're going to buy gasoline, and you're going to buy things like that, your utilities, and you're not going to buy video games. So where we get into nuances, and why I'm not going to give you every single answer is because depending on the formula you use, you will get slightly different answers. So the other formula that you can use, I have listed down here for demand, but you could also look at this for supply. It's the same formula, but we are going to be looking at quantity supplied here rather than quantity demanded. So we'll take the second quantity minus the first quantity divided by, then added together, divided by 2. And so I showed you kind of what this looks like. So we'll have our quantities here, and then our prices here, and then we would get on the top part of the division problem, we would get this, and on the bottom this. So you take 0.2222 divided by 0.067, and you'd still get 3 point something. It's not really super particular that you get the exact same answer, because you're going to get something close, and you're obviously going to realize that is still an elastic item. So depending on how you're doing these problems, you may get slightly different answers. So on the next part, on number 2 of section 1, it asks you to calculate the elasticity of supply as the price goes from this to this. And so I did not calculate that part. I thought you could do that utilizing this handy dandy formula or this one. Honestly, I think if you're new to doing these, I would stick with this one, just because figuring out a percentage change is sometimes more difficult than you might think. It's easy to get off. And so I recommend this one unless you're pretty comfortable with doing percentage change from, say, a math class. So I did not do number 2 in section 1, and we are going to move to section 2. So it gives us numbers for our PlayStations, just like in the previous set. And then it also gives us our formula. And so what it asks for the demand, quantity, and price. So we're going to find our price given here. And we will see that this is our price. And we can, we can obviously plug that in for a number of prices. But this gives you an idea of what it's looking for. And then on the second part, it gives you specific prices, and we are going to find quantity demanded. And so we're still just using this formula. Here are the prices they give us. And so we're plugging them in over here because it is obviously giving us the price, and we are determining quantity demanded. And so you're going to get these for quantity demanded. I think we're still looking at these in reference to in hundreds. And so I kind of wrote this out to the side. What they're meaning here is 200, 700, and 1,000. So that's a brief overview for this section 2. And then that last part asks you to determine elasticity, elasticity of demand. And so I figured it, let's say we're going from 700 to 1,000. And then our price, is changing from 325 to 240. And so we looked at it here, and this is the price elasticity of demand. You can use any different. You could go from, 2 to 7 at these prices. It is up to you. You can even arbitrarily, since you have the formula, you can pick any number you want to for the price and just fill in and find that elasticity. We are right at 1. You could call this unitary elastic if you wanted to. You could also say it's slightly elastic. Either one would work here. You're probably going to find it's slightly different depending on which number you use. All I'm wanting to see here is that you can follow this formula out with whatever example you so choose. And so you may find that one shift, like from one price to another, is more or less elastic than another. And so that's sometimes fun and interesting to do. So don't feel like you need to get this answer, use these variables. It does not say. It says calculate the price elasticity of demand and determine if it's elastic, inelastic, or unitary. What you do want to notice when it says explain the elasticity, we are going to want to note that, say we're in this market and a recession is coming, this product is very elastic. We are going to have more trouble, with buying and selling items when there's more elasticity. So in here where we have basically unitary elasticity, we're not going to see huge fluctuations because while it isn't necessarily a demand, a high demand item during all the time, it's not a necessity. We'll demand it pretty much most any economic situation. And so the next part, we're going to look at price elasticity of supply. And so I wrote the numbers out, and once again we figured those and found the prices, and then we went through and did that quantity supplied for some different prices there, 0, 1, and 2. And then here for 0, 2, and $4.50. And so these are our quantity demanded. And then once again, it asks you to calculate that elasticity. Just like before, pick a number that you want to use. You could do for the whole thing. Some people will go, well, I'm going to go from $0 to $4.50. That's perfectly acceptable too. And so figure out what your elasticity means, and then you'll use this scale to determine whether it's elastic or not. I hope this gives you a great overview of this week 3 assignment. I hope you have a great week. Thanks. Bye.